In this lesson, we're going to compare square roots. In a previous lesson, we filled out this number line with the perfect squares. We said 1 times 1 is 1, so the square root of 1 is 1. 2 times 2 is 4, so the square root of 4 is 2. 3 times 3 is 9, so the square root of 9 is 3, and so forth. Example number 1, how do I order from least to greatest? We're going to order the numbers from least to greatest, not using calculators. So what we notice here is that we've got some fractions, we have a decimal, we also have a square root. So we're going to turn these into decimals, and we're going to approximate them. We don't have to be exact for all of these. All right, so if we have 4.5, well, that's pretty easy. We know that 4.5 is equivalent to 4.5. 5.99 is already a decimal. Now we've got the square root of 26. So let's come up here on our number line, and we're going to locate the square root of 26 between the square root of 25 and the square root of 36. And let's note that it's pretty close to the 5. All right, it's between the integers 5 and the integer 6. And because 26 is pretty close to 25, we know that it's a small decimal, so let's just say like 5.2. It might be something else, but that'll get us close enough. Now we have 37 all over 9. Remember, to turn a fraction into a decimal, we have to take the top number divided by the bottom number. So we have 37, and we have to do this the hard way because we're not using calculators today, divided by 9. And now let's bring it out 1 decimal place. We shouldn't need to bring these out any further than that. So 9 goes into 37 4 times, because 4 times 9 is 36. And we have a 1, let's just bring down our 0. And 9 goes into 10 1 time. So we've got approximately 4.1. So now that we've got the approximate decimal equivalents, let's go ahead and just order them from least to greatest. So 4.1 is our smallest. Our next smallest is 4.5. And then, well, 5.2 is smaller than 5.99, so that would come next. And then our last one would be letter D, which would be 5.99. All right, again, we're going to order this list of numbers in order from least to greatest without using a calculator. So again, we're going to use our number line to help us out. So let's go ahead and let's change the 41 divided by 6, or 41 all over 6. Let's take 41 divided by 6, and let's just bring it out 1 decimal place. That should be enough. So 6 times 6 is 36. So then we're just going to subtract here. And we'd have 5. Let's bring down the 0. Remember, this is a decimal right here. And then 6 times 4 times. All right, so 6 times 8 is 48. So that's going to get us pretty close there. So we have approximately 6.8 is our value right here. So 6.8. All right, let's go ahead and locate the square root of 40 on our number line. So notice that it's between the square root of 36 and 49, so square root of 40 here, which is between the integers 6 and 7. Now, it's going to be closer to 40 than it is 49. Let's say about a 4.3, and again, or I'm sorry, 6.3. It does not have to be exact unless you have numbers that are pretty close together. We see a 6.8. We know that this is going to be smaller than the 41 all over 6. All right, we have to do the same thing with the 30 divided by 4. So we'll take 4 goes into 30. And again, we're just going to bring it out 1 decimal place. And 7 times 4 is 28. We have then 2. We're going to bring it out 1 decimal place. And 4 goes into 20 5 times. And so we have a 7.5. All right, and the last one we have to approximate then is square root of 62. So square root of 62 is going to be between square root of 49 and the square root of 64. And it's pretty close to the 8. So we're pretty close. It's between the 7 and the 8, but it's really close. So let's just say 7.8. All right. So now that we've got our approximate decimal equivalents, let's go ahead and order these from least to greatest. So 6.3 would be our smallest, so that's A. And then we would have 6.8. Then we would have 7.5. And then last, the biggest one would be then the square root of 62, which is 7.8. All right, example number 2. How do I make inequalities true? It says find the integer value. Remember, integer is just a positive or negative whole number that makes the inequality true. And remember, when you have an x that's sandwiched in between two values, remember it means between. So we're looking for a number or an integer that's between. So it has to be a positive or negative whole number because it has to be an integer. So it's not going to be one of those, it's not going to be a fraction. All right, or a decimal. So let's go ahead and take a look at the square root of 99. So the square root of 99, notice, is right here. And it's really close to the square root of 100. And so let's just kind of put a mark right there. And then we've got the square root of 120. Now the square root of 120 is really close to a square root of 121. So it would be pretty close right here. And remember, we're looking for the positive or negative whole number. Take a look right here. The square root of 99 is, and the square root of 120, 10 is between those two values. So x can be then 10. All right, let's try this again. We have the square root of 17, and we're looking for the number that's between the square root of 17 and the 36 all over 7. So we've got the square root of 17. Let's find that on our number line. And the square root of 17 would be found right here, square root of 17. And it's really close then to 4, so it would be a small 4, maybe like a 4.2. Probably about 4.2 is what we'd approximate that to be. And then we've got 36 all over 7. So 36 divided by 7. So 7 goes into 36 5 times. So we have 35, and then let's just bring it out one more decimal. And 7 goes into 10 one time. So we've got 5.1. So notice here that we've got 36 all over 7, that fraction, that is just a little bit bigger than the 5. Now notice then which integer value is between these two values, and notice right here you've got the number 5. So our answer to this, the integer, positive or negative whole number, is 5. All right, place the numbers in the boxes to make the inequality true. Again, we need to evaluate and to see approximately what these values are. So let's look at the number 9. Number 9, we're good. That's just a whole number. 5 all over 7. So 5 divided by 7. Let's just bring it out one decimal place. So 7 goes into 50 7 times, because 7 times 7 is 49. So the equivalent decimal would be about 0.7 for the 5 all over 7. Now we have 4 times pi. Remember that, and again, we're just approximating these, so we don't need to know the exact values, but pi is 3.14. So couldn't we just take 4 times, we wouldn't even need to do the 3.14 unless we can't, let's just say 4 times 3 and see if we can tell what order these would be in without having to do multiply the decimal. So we're just multiplying 4 times 3, which is going to give us 12. And now let's go up on our, up here to find out where the square root of 3 would be. All right, there's the square root of 3 is between 1 and 4. And we notice that it's closer to 4, so that makes it a bigger decimal, maybe a 1.8. Maybe it's a 1.9. We know it's between 1 and 2, and it's closer to 2, so I would say about 1.8. So now I believe we have enough information here to be able to say which ones are from least to greatest. So looking at these then, take a look here. Our smallest one, 0.7, because that's less than 1, would be located, that would be the smallest one. So 5 all over 7. And that's going to be less than or equal to then our next one. So our next decimal here is 1.8, which is square root of 3. So let's do the square root of 3. All right. And so which is less than or equal to then our next one then, we would have just 9 would be our next value. And then our biggest one then is pi, or 4 times pi, which would be 12 point something. And so we'll put our 4 pi right there in order from least to greatest. For time purposes, we're going to skip question number 4. All right, so our last examples here, it says which values for x make the inequality true. So remember, when you've got that x sandwich in the middle there, you're looking for what number is between the 5 and the 6. So let's take a look at the square root of 17, which we would find then between, 4 and 5, the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. So we've got the square root of 17. So let's say that's really close to the 16. Let's just say a 4.2. About 4.2. All right, 5.2 I think is fine. Let's look at our square root of 30. And the square root of 30 appears to be between, square root of 30, is between square root of 25 and the square root of 36. So someplace in between 5 and 6, let's just say a 5.4. It might be different than that, but it's going to be close enough. And then 6.4 is fine, and then we have 58 all over 10. So let's just divide 58 divided by 10, and just bring it out one decimal. So 10 goes into 58 5 times, bring down the 0, and so we've got about a 5.8. All right, so now let's compare these. We're looking for numbers that are going to be between 5 and 6. So let's look at our first one, a 4.2. Well, 4.2 would be on this side, wouldn't it? Because it's smaller. So 4.2 cannot be between. All right, how about 5.2? Well, yeah, 5.2 is between 5 and 6, so yep. 5.4, the square root of 30. Yep, 5.4 would be between 5 and 6, so the square root of 30 would work. 6.4, well, you guys, 6.4 is going to be between, or it's going to be bigger than the 6, so we can't have 6.4. But 58 all over 10 makes a 5.8, and that would be between 5 and 6. So 58 all over 10 would be between 5 and 6. And we're going to skip number 6. So in this lesson, we took a look at how to compare numbers on a number line, including the square roots.